22 years old, living in Colombia, fired from an SEO agency, no clients, no network, no savings, no plan. By 25, I'd made $1 million without ads, without a big following, without posting on 5 different platforms, just one. And if a girl in Medellin, Colombia with 0 connections and 0 experience pulled that off, the question worth asking is, what exactly does the playbook look like? That's what this video is. The platform, the algorithm, the content system, the strategy behind it. Everything I do from day one if I had to start over today. I know what you are thinking. LinkedIn, the platform where people post, "I'm humbled to announce" updates. Corporate, stiff, not where real conversations happen. Or the cringe platform with crying CEOs and what proposing to my wife taught me about B2B sales. And honestly, that's exactly what I thought. And that resistance is actually the opportunity. LinkedIn has 1.3 billion members, but only 3% of them post weekly. Think about it like a stadium with 50,000 seats. Everyone's sitting in the stands watching, but almost nobody's on the field. When you show up on that field and start performing, every single person in those stands can see you. You honestly don't need to be the best. You just need to be there. That's LinkedIn right now. The stands are packed. The field is empty. Because honestly, the standards are pretty low. Platforms like X and Instagram are usually years ahead of LinkedIn. But the difference is the audience isn't there to be entertained. They're executives, founders, CMOs, people with budgets and a problem they need solved this quarter. When someone on LinkedIn sees your content and thinks, "I need this," they can act on it the same day. That's a completely different buying environment than any other platform. Now, the be everywhere advice. On paper, it sounds right. More platforms, more reach. But watch what actually happens. You become generic. Every platform has different rules. Trying to make content that works everywhere is like trying to make one outfit that works for the gym, a board meeting, and a wedding. It just doesn't. You end up underdressed everywhere. You burn out. Managing 5 platforms is a full-time job. You are constantly context switching, and because you are not seeing results anywhere fast enough, you quit before anything compounds. You never build intuition. Learning an algorithm is like learning a city. You can't know 5 cities deeply at the same time. But when you live in one long enough, you stop needing a map. You just know which streets work. Split across 5 platforms, you're always a tourist, never a local. The question isn't which platforms should I be on? The question is, where are my buyers and how do I own that channel before everyone else does? For B2B, LinkedIn is not social media. It's a distribution channel. Your prospects are there right now making decisions, vetting vendors, forming opinions about who knows what they're talking about. When you are not in that conversation, your competitor is. I ignored every other platform until I hit a specific revenue milestone. That one decision changed everything. But before we talk about what to post, you need to understand what changed underneath the platform. Because if you're still following LinkedIn advice from 2 years ago, you're using a map of a city that got completely rebuilt. LinkedIn published a research paper written by their own engineers, 9 pages. It explains exactly how they rebuilt the algorithm from scratch. They call it 360 brew. They scrapped the old system entirely. It used to work like a committee. One module tracked trending topics, another tracked hashtags, another measured how fast your post got likes in the first hour, all of them voting on what to show people. That's gone. Replaced by a single AI model, 150 billion parameters, built in-house, trained entirely on LinkedIn's own data. One brain, not a committee. The old system matched keywords. The new one reads meaning. It's not looking for the right words in your post anymore. It's asking whether your post actually belongs in front of a specific person based on everything it knows about them. It doesn't track whether you posted at the optimal time. It tracks whether people stopped and actually read what you wrote. That's why it's not as easy to fool it with an engagement pod. as before. It knows the difference between someone who really commented and someone who typed great insight without reading a single word. And here's the part that surprised me the most. The new system actively favors smaller accounts. LinkedIn ran A/B tests before rolling it out, and for accounts with smaller networks, the new algorithm produced measurably better outcomes. The old system was like compound interest at a bank that only gave the best rates to the people who already had the most money. The new system changed that. Data from 50,000 posts published in late 2025, a top 10% post from someone with a 5 to 10K follower range gets around 5.5 impressions. A median post with someone with 25 to 50K followers gets 2.4K. A great post from a smaller account outperforms an average post from an account 5 times its size. That's why execution now matters more than audience size. And this is why now is the best time to post on LinkedIn after the 2022 boom, because everything after that was really hard. Bigger accounts were taking up the whole total addressable content. I'll explain what that is in a few minutes. But now anyone can enter the TAC. So what stopped working? Timing optimization, hashtags, because the system rewards meaning now, not labels. Engagement pause, because 360 Brew tracks dwell time and genuine engagement patterns. Generic advice, because when thousands of people post the same 5 tips, you're all swimming in the same lane, and the algorithm knows it. What does it reward now then? Genuine expertise, content people actually dwell on, saves over likes, and a voice that sounds like a real human with a real expertise. I did a full deep dive on the 7 new rules behind 360 Brew in another video. I'll link it in the description if you want the complete breakdown. But for this video, the takeaway is simple. The system now reads meaning, rewards relevance, and punishes shortcuts. Oh, and one more thing on this. LinkedIn SEO is real, and almost everyone ignores it. And here's proof that it works. Someone tagged me in a post recently, an SEO consultant who'd been watching his impressions flatline for 6 months. He changed one thing. His headline and about section, reach up 226%, engagement up 327%. Same posting style, same content, same frequency. A prospect even found him through LinkedIn search the same week. That's not a coincidence. The algorithm uses your profile as a context signal. 360 Brew reads your profile before it distributes a single piece of your content. It's essentially asking, based on who this person says they are, does this post belong in front of that audience? Your headline and about section are telling the system what topics you are qualified on. Plus, you also optimize for the search bar. It's honestly the worst search bar I've ever seen. But somehow a client who now pays $20,000 a month found me through it. And another case in point is the SEO consultant I just mentioned. So here's what actually moves the needle for LinkedIn SEO. Your headline needs keywords, not just titles, not SEO consultant helping B2B SaaS teams grow through organic and AI search. Try SEO and AEO consultant for B2B SaaS because it matches what buyers actually search for right now. In today's AI world, that's AEO. Your services sections is searchable gold. Most people skip it entirely. Fill it in with the exact language your ICP uses when describing what they need. Your About section is a sales page. Write it with natural keywords, not stuffed, not forced, written the way your buyer would describe their own problem out loud. Post consistently around your core keywords. The system builds a content fingerprint of you over time. Post about LinkedIn strategy every week, and the algorithm starts routing LinkedIn strategy content toward your audience automatically. And the details matter too. Name your carousel files before uploading because they tell your system exactly what the document is about. Add alt text to your images. Nobody does this, and the system actually does read it. Now, we've covered the platform and we've covered the algorithm, but none of that matters if you are walking into LinkedIn without knowing what you are about to build. And what we usually build first is a profile that works against us. Before you write a single post, fix your profile. This is the most skipped step. People spend weeks crafting content and send all that traffic to a profile that loses them in 10 seconds. Your content is the ad, your profile is the landing page. If the ad is great, but the landing page is confusing, nobody buys. Right now, most profiles are the equivalent of clicking a promising ad and landing on a page that just says, "Hi, I am founder of something," or "Hi, I work somewhere." But simply, the ad gets the click, the landing page gets the client. When your landing page is broken, every post you write is wasted. When a stranger lands on your profile, they're doing one fast gut check. Do I understand what this person does and whether it's for me? When the answer isn't immediately obvious, they leave. That's not a content problem, that's a profile problem. Your banner? This is your rehook. Your post was what stopped the scroll. Your headline got the click. Now your banner needs to keep them moving down the page. It should make a visitor think, I need to keep reading. I like this person. I want to know more. Something that pulls their eye straight down to your featured section. Your headline, not your job title, your value proposition. Most people write like founder at X or marketing manager. That's like a restaurant calling itself a place that sells food. Use a problem you solve and who you solve it for, and use the exact language your buyers search for. Mine says building content engines, LinkedIn, newsletters, YouTube, founder, Distinktio.io. We grow B2B brands through organic content, content strategist, speaker. Every single element I put there is intentional. Keywords your buyers search for, the platforms I work on, and what I actually do. All in my first line. Then your about section, one structure, problem, solution, proof, CTA, not your life story. Show you understand the pain, position yourself as the fix, add numbers, then tell people exactly what to do next. Nobody's scrolling LinkedIn to read your autobiography. Your featured section, the most underused piece of real estate on the platform. But here's how to think about it. The goal is to move people one step closer into your world, somewhere you own the relationship. That means a newsletter sign up, a booking link, a lead magnet, something that pulls people off of LinkedIn and into your ecosystem. Because LinkedIn owns your followers. You don't. A post belongs here only if it genuinely showcases something exceptional, but a booking link or a newsletter always takes priority. Your custom CTA button. LinkedIn lets you add a button linked directly on your profile. Most people leave it blank or link to their homepage. That button is free real estate. Link it to a booking page, a download, a newsletter, whatever action you actually want people to take. So someone sees your post, they click on your name, they scan your headline, they check your featured section. That sequence is a funnel. Post and headline gets them to your profile. Banner gets them to your about section, and featured section gets them into your world. When any step is unclear, you've lost them. Spend one full day on this before you post anything. Before you write a single post, spend 72 hours doing something most people skip entirely. Study the landscape you're entering. There's a book called Steal Like an Artist. The premise is that nothing is completely original. Every creative person builds on what came before. But the difference between good stealing and bad stealing is this. Bad stealing copies one person. Good stealing studies many. Absorb what resonates and remake it into something that only you could make. Think of it like a musician. A bad musician learns one song and plays it note for note. A good musician listens to 50 artists, absorbs what makes each one resonate, and then writes something that sounds like nobody else. The song feels original, but every influence is in there if you know where to listen. That's exactly how I built my presence on LinkedIn. Find accounts in your space who are clearly getting engagement from the right people. Don't base this on follower account. Base it on post performance. A 3,000 follower account with consistently strong engagement from your ICP is more valuable to study than a 100K account whose comments are all from other creators. Study them like a case study. What topics do they keep coming back to? What hooks stop people from scrolling? What formats gets traction? How do they end their posts? Most importantly, what are the outliers and why? What was it about that post that made it successful? You are not doing this to copy them. You are doing this to understand the unwritten rules of your niche before you walk in. Every niche on LinkedIn has them. When you skip this step, You'll spend months posting into a void with no idea why. Then start posting. Steal formats, steal hooks, steal design frameworks, not ideas. Take a hook structure that worked for someone in your space and rebuild it around your own experience. Take a framework someone used to explain one concept and apply it to a completely different one. Take a content type that performs in your niche and make your own version of it. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from everything that's already been figured out. Then adding the one thing nobody else can replicate is your actual experience. And then after about 6 months, you'll see something shift. You stop noticing what's working for everyone else and you start noticing what's missing, what your niche keeps getting wrong, what nobody is saying but everyone needs to hear. That's when you stop stealing and you start building something that's actually yours. So now you understand the platform, you fix the profile, you know how to study the landscape before you walk in, but this is where we still get it wrong. We start posting, and we post the same type of content over and over without realizing it. And we wonder why some people are growing and we are not. The answer is a system, and most people don't have one. Random posting doesn't work. You need a system. Think of your content like a sales team where every person has a different job. One person brings in new leads. One builds trust. One closes. One keeps existing relationships warm. When everyone's doing the same job, the whole pipeline breaks. Your content works the same way. I call this the content buckets. 4 buckets, 4 jobs, each one doing something the others can't. So let's start with growth, because this is the one most people get wrong. Growth content expands your reach. But before I explain how, I need to address the question nobody wants to say out loud. Why should anyone care about you? Seriously, you could have a 70 million exit, a decade of experience, a client list that would make most people's jaws drop. And when nobody on LinkedIn knows who you are, none of that matters. You will get ignored. I know this because we lived it. A client of ours, founder, sold his company for over $70 million. Legitimately one of the most accomplished people I've worked with. He stopped working with us for a few months and started posting on his own. And the numbers were brutal. Single-digit likes, almost no impressions, on posts about a topic he literally built a company on. Attention doesn't care about your bank account. It cares about relevance. In other words, expertise and attention are 2 completely different currencies. You can be rich in one and broke in the other one. And on LinkedIn, attention is the one that pays first. This is what I call the authority paradox. The more you know, the more you assume people will care. But actually, nobody cares until you earn their attention first. That's why growth content has to push your authority into audiences that don't know you yet. You can't just post what you know. You have to post what people are already looking for. Think about it as total addressable content, what I was going to explain earlier on. The same way a business has a total addressable market, your content has a total addressable audience. The question is, what are the people in that audience already watching, reading, reacting to right now? That's your entry point. And there are 4 specific formats that break through when nobody knows your name yet. Brandjacking. Take a well-known brand, a decision they made, a campaign, a product launch, a mistake, and use it as a frame for your own insight. You are not reporting on them. You are borrowing the attention their name already has and redirecting it toward your expertise. The key is that your insight has to be genuinely yours. You're not summarizing what they did. You're saying, here's what this actually reveals about how our industry works. One of our clients did this with Heinz dropping their logo from billboards and still having 70% brand recognition. He used it to make a point about creative consistency versus testing velocity in paid social. 9,000 impressions, 193 reactions, 33 saves. Another did it with Liquid Death. breaking down how their creative team generates billions in earned media. That one hit 38,000 impressions. Both times, people inside those companies showed up in the comments. The VP of Creative at Liquid Death corrected a detail. That comment alone got 190 likes. When the subject of your post engages with your content, the algorithm treats it like a signal that something real is happening. Newsjacking. When something significant happens in your industry, your goal is to be the first credible voice to contextualize it. Anyone can share the news. What your audience actually needs is someone who understands what it means, what the second order effects are, and why the obvious interpretation might be wrong. And timing is everything here, so take care of that. The algorithm rewards posts that enter a conversation while it's still hot. A sharp take posted within 24 to 48 hours of a breaking story gets pushed significantly harder than something that was published a week later. One of our clients was among the first to contextualize OpenAI testing ads inside ChatGPT. 130 comments within days of the story breaking. Another covered the revelation that ChatGPT is pulling directly from Google search. 293 comments, 234 reposts. Another covered Bing launching an AI performance dashboard and what it actually means for search visibility. 70 reposts. All three hit strong numbers fast because they were early and they had a real point of view, not just a summary. Namejacking. Reference a specific person your audience already follows. It could be someone you agree with, someone whose idea you want to build on, or someone you respectfully disagree with. The mechanism is the same. You borrow their name recognition to stop the scroll. Then deliver a perspective that is entirely your own. This only works when your take is genuinely substantial. It's not about controversy. It's about adding something real to a conversation people are already having. One of our clients referenced Satya Nadella's decision to replace know-it-all culture with learn-it-all culture at Microsoft, 24,000 impressions. Another referenced Mira Murati turning down a $1 billion acquisition from Zuckerberg and connected it to what loyalty inside companies actually looks like. And one of our clients posted about Stephen Bartlett, and Bartlett himself commented on it. 147,000 impressions. When you reference the right people with genuine insight, sometimes those people notice. And when they do, the distribution compounds in a way no amount of hashtags or posting frequency ever could. Hot takes. A contrarian angle on something your entire industry accepts as true, not trying to be provocative for its own sake. A genuinely held belief that challenges the consensus in a way that forces people to take a position. These work because they create an immediate reaction. People either immediately agree or immediately push back. Either way, they engage. And engagement velocity in the first hours can help the algorithm decide how far to push a post. The best hot takes aren't random controversy. They come from something you've actually observed, a pattern your clients keep hitting, a belief the industry keeps repeating that your experience contradicts. One of our clients posted a direct claim that original research is outranking AI-written content. Not by a little, by a lot. 396 comments, 304 reposts, 3,198 reactions. Another posted that ChatGPT just sold its soul the moment it started testing ads. 137 comments. And it kept climbing for days. Both posts generated the kind of attraction because they stated a clear position and forced people to respond. All four do the same thing. They attach your expertise to something people are already paying attention to. You're walking into a conversation that's already happening instead of standing in an empty room hoping someone walks by. That's how you solve the authority paradox without waiting 2 years. Authority content builds trust. Frameworks, case studies, client results, the difference between someone thinking interesting opinions and this person can actually help me. But notice the sequence. Growth gets you seen, authority makes them stay, because authority content alone, posted to an audience that doesn't know you yet, is like handing out a business card in an empty room. Then conversion content is what's going to create the pipeline. You actually have to ask for the business sometimes. And when you've built trust with the first two buckets I just mentioned, conversion posts feel like a natural next step, not desperation. And then the last one is personal content, and it makes you memorable, the human behind the expertise, your story, your perspective, the behind the scenes of what you are building. When AI can generate decent content for anyone, the only thing that can't be replicated is a genuine person with a point of view. And that's your moat. So roughly, let's think about 40% growth, 30% authority, 20% conversion, and then 10% personal. There's no hard rules, but zoom out over a month and all four should be there. In the first 90 days, your comments matter more than your posts. When you post to 0 followers, almost nobody sees it. It's like opening a store on a street with no foot traffic and wondering why nobody comes. But when you leave a strong comment on a post hitting 50,000 impressions, you are setting up a pop-up stand on the busiest street in town. Every person who reads that post walks past your name, reads what you wrote, and decides whether to click your profile. I call this the comment flywheel. You're borrowing distribution you haven't earned yet by showing up inside conversations that already have it. And every good comment spins the wheel a little faster. That is the highest leverage thing you can do in the first 90 days, commenting. So a good comment does one of three things. It adds a new angle the original post didn't cover. It respectfully challenges the take or tells a quick story that connects to the topic. Great post is not a comment. Nobody reads it and it does nothing for you. So be strategic about where you comment. Don't just find viral posts. Find posts from people whose audience match your ICP. A post with 500 likes from the right people is worth more than a post with 50,000 likes from the wrong ones. Quality of audience always beats size of audience. So build a simple engagement list. A spreadsheet, category, their LinkedIn name, their activity URL, not their profile URL. It has to be the activity one, because if you don't get that one, they're going to see that you're seeing their profile every single day, and that gets creepy fast. So remember, activity feed link only. So 30 minutes a day on strategic comments before you open your drafts. Do that for 90 days and watch what happens. Don't just post and ghost your own content. You need to reply to every comment on your post, especially in the first hour, because more replies means more distribution. But beyond the algorithm, these are real people who took 30 seconds to respond to you. Respond back. That's the full system. One platform, the algorithm decoded, a profile built for search and conversions, the content stack with the 4 jobs, the steal before you create, the comment flywheel as your growth engine. Now here's the honest version of the timeline. Your first 20 posts are practice. Posts 21 through 40 are where you actually start finding your voice, and then post 41 and beyond are where momentum actually kicks in. Don't quit before you get there. If you want us to build this system for you, that's what my agency Distintiva does every single day. Links in the description. And if this video was useful, subscribe. Every week, I'm breaking down what actually works for B2B companies on LinkedIn right now, not the tactics people were teaching in 2022. See you in the next one.